In part one, I unlocked your childhood and early life. And part two is where the real wisdom comes out, okay? These final 20 questions capture your love, your mistakes, your victories, and the life lessons your grandkids will lean on long after you're gone, okay? Hi, I'm Greg Colosi. I'm 69 years young. I'm going on 50 years being an entrepreneur. I reversed my diabetes with diet, not medication. I improved my neuropathy, 95%. I can barely ever feel it anymore. And I lost 65 pounds to boot. And I'm on no medications whatsoever. Nada. Zip. Zero. And now I help seniors write their life story for their grandkids, so their wisdom and memories never disappear and go on for generations and generations and generations. I wish I had my dad's life story. My dad's been gone now almost 20 years, and my mother's been gone about 26 years. I wish I started this way back when. I would have captured everything of his, on paper, video, audio, okay? And then I'd have it. So I wish I did have it. So you got it now, okay? If you're younger, okay, you got parents that are still alive, I'd recommend this for your parents. Get it done with them first, not you. Get your parents done first. And if you're fortunate enough to have grandparents still alive, okay, get them before your parents, okay? Now, you can do this yourself with the ideas that I give you and all these questions, or we can help you. Either way, I want you to do it, okay? So I've interviewed lots of seniors, and the second half of this life always reveals the gold, okay? Your biggest turning points, regrets, achievements, beliefs, and the things you now understand that you wish you understood decades ago. Okay, so moving on, we're in section 5 now. If this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch part 1 first, okay? And the questions I'll put down in the description too. But you're going to want to listen to this first. A lot of goodies in here that'll help you with the questions, okay? How did you meet the love of your life or your first love, okay? The love of my life, I only met 23, 24 years ago, my current wife, okay? I've been married 3 times. Second was a quickie. First one I had my children with, and I still care about her, and of course, my beautiful children and I got 2 kids, and I got 3 grandkids. Unbelievable, as you know. If you got grandkids, you know, okay? And if you don't have grandkids, get some. I don't know how you're going to do that. Get your kids to take action quicker, okay? Okay, what is the funniest memory from your early dating years with the love of your life? What was the most meaningful moment from your wedding or your marriage? Okay, and you can include some pictures in this section, okay? Or we can do that for you. What surprised you the most about becoming a parent? And what is the single best piece of parenting advice you would pass down today? Okay, let me go back to that question before that. What surprised you most about becoming a parent? The enormous amount of love that I have for my children. I mean, the second they were born, I saw them and it just flowed right out of me, okay? My grandkids, same thing, only more love, okay? I don't know how I can get more love, but I mean, it's a different kind of love, okay? It's a grandparent for grandchild love. That surprised me, okay? We had pets when we were growing up, and I say this to people all the time. If they've got pets and they're going to have a kid, but they're not having one yet, I said, you see how much you love that dog? Multiply it times 100 or 1,000, and then you'll get the love for your child. Okay, and then love for a grandkid is a whole nother deal. It's different. It's heavy, 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 heavy. okay? So, what's the single best piece of parenting advice that I could pass down today? Let's handle this one. Is your children don't do as you say, they do as you do. And I've given this advice to someone very close to me who didn't quite get it. Okay? Alexa, stop. Sorry. He was telling his kids one thing, but he was doing another. Well, it's come to bite him in the ass, okay? It's happening now. So don't do as I say, do as I do. You are the example for your children and your grandchildren. They watch everything you do. If you swear like a drunken sailor, but you tell them not to swear, guess what they're going to do, okay? My dad, never heard him swear till I was 42 years old, so he was 67 at the time, okay? When I first heard him swear. And so I never swear, okay? A little bit now, but I never, to me, the big one is the F word, okay? And I don't say the F word, ever, okay? Joking around I might, but I've never said it seriously to anybody. And the first time I said it, I was by myself in the car, and I was 37 years old, and I was so frustrated, okay? So anyway, I said, Dad, why don't you swear? And he said, I never heard my father swear. So a friend of mine, my two kids were hanging out with their kids, and my buddy said, hey, we're talking about swearing. I said, my kids don't swear. And he said, oh, they swear. I said, go ask your kids if they swear. He came back to me and said, you're right, your kids don't swear. Okay, so my grandfather never sweared. My father never swore. I don't swear that much, and my kids don't either, okay? I was just on a long conversation with my daughter yesterday, and she had every opportunity in the world to say the F word, but she did not, okay? Maybe she says it to her husband, but she doesn't say it to me. But you could tell, okay? When somebody gets really upset and they slip, it all comes out, okay? I've never seen it happen with my daughter. Now, my son's a different story, but my daughter, never, okay? And boys are a little bit harsher than girls usually. Okay, section 6, work, purpose, and life lessons. 6 more questions. What job or career shaped you the most, and why? And I think I told you that in the last one. My very first real part-time job with a supermarket, and just to repeat myself quickly, I asked, I want a raise, and they said, no, you got to be here longer, okay? You've only been here 6 months. You got to be here a year or two before you get a raise. I said, how about that guy? He doesn't work that well. Well, he's been here 2 years. I decided then I don't want to work for anybody, or I want to get in a profession where my effort pays off, so I got into sales. Anyway, the next question. What is the biggest risk you ever took in your working life? Starting my first business was my biggest risk. What failure taught you the most? I went bankrupt at age 32, and I'm glad I did then, because I know people in their 60s, like my German poor father-in-law, lost it all in his 60s. And if this would have happened to him when he was younger, it wouldn't have happened to him while he was in his 60s, okay? So I'm fortunate that it happened to me while I was young. I can see the signs coming a mile away, okay? What accomplishment are you most proud of professionally? Mine was speaking. I've given over 500 speeches. The largest audience I had was 5,000. And if you know who Tony Robbins is, I spoke at I was a precursor to him speaking in a couple events around the country. What's something you used to care about but that no longer matters? I got to think about that one. That's a good one. What's something you wish younger people understood about real life? Okay? You and I both know this, okay? You don't get any brains until you're at least 40. We know that, okay? And if we were to go back and say to our younger self on some decisions we made in our 20s and 30s, it would be different decisions. Now, some of you are emotionally and mentally very mature younger, okay? But most of us don't get any brains till we're 40 or 50, okay? And we're still making mistakes. And we go, geez, why did I do that? Okay? Okay, section 7. What's the hardest thing you've ever overcome? And how did it shape you? Mine is recently, okay, when I lost 65 pounds, 70 on a good day. And I reversed my diabetes by changing my diet. Okay, if you're interested in finding out what that is, leave me a comment down below and I'll share it with you. I'm most proud of that. Okay, reversed my diabetes, no medication, naturally with food. And that got rid of neuropathy that I had. It's 95% gone. And I feel good. I got more energy than I know what to do with at 69 years young. Okay? What mistake turned into one of your greatest teachers? I'm going to save that for my book. What do you want your grandchildren to remember about you? I want them to know that I love them, and love them. Okay? I also, when they ask me to do something, I want to jump up and do it, okay? I want to be the funny one. I want to be the one that gets involved. I want to be the one that says, let's go do this, okay? Now, to be able to do that, I've got to stay healthy, okay? I've got to stay healthy, and that's what I'm doing because I want to be there. I want to be at my 11-year-old granddaughter's wedding, whenever that is, probably 20 years from now, and I will be 89 years old, but I want to be there, and I want to be healthy, and I want to dance with her, okay? That's what I want to do. What advice would you give someone 40 years younger than you? Always seek counsel. Always ask others that have either been through what you're about to go through, or they know somebody that does, and ask for help. Ask for help. It's not a weakness asking for help. It is a strength. And what is the legacy you hope to leave behind? What is that for you? Now, looking back at my own life, the relationships, the businesses, the failures, the health battles I turned around, these were moments that shaped me. And when I interview seniors, these final 20 questions always bring out the wisdom, the truth, and the stories that families treasure most. If you want to see how ready you are to write your life story for your grandkids, click the link below in the description and take my free Write Your Life Story scorecard. It's an assessment, and it'll show you exactly where you are and what you need to do next. Okay, this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, go see part 1. And thank you, and make it a great day. Bye.